This video draws on lessons from a variety of research programmes involving industry academic collaboration, KT Box and AIM Research.
In my experience, by working closely with industry, I find as a researcher I can ask more interesting questions. I'm informed in my research by some of the challenges that firms in my case face. And by working closely with industry, I can get access to better data. The relationships I have with firms, relationships that are built over long periods of time, allow me to access information and to generate insights that normally you couldn't access.
Where organisations are looking for new ideas and new technology, they recognise that universities are a rich source to help them innovate. Your research plans will be important indicators to them of the likelihood of the success of your project. Timescales are important too. Who knows, when you attend your next networking event, you might just find the right industry collaborator to take your research forward.
I think one of the key secrets actually is to be prepared to take a risk. You know, to go out and find out what's out there, you know, what's going on, you know, and let it surprise you to a certain degree.
I think the difficulty arises where you don't recognise what either party needs, or both assume that actually their direction is the primary goal and the other party is entirely secondary to the relationship. So I think providing you're clear up front, it's always worked for me.
You need to establish trust in a working relationship, and I think that's very important, and it's where established relationships, I think, facilitate progress between the two parties.
Can we have just 3 groups? Stand up, get into groups of 3, please.
It's not every day you can get experts from IBM, Rolls-Royce, Cranfield University, Nottingham University, the EPSRC, Engineering and Physical Sciences Research Council, and the University of Cambridge together. But here we have these representatives who have been working together as part of a great example of knowledge transfer. KT Box, the toolkit for improving service operations. It's not always plain sailing. How to manage complex, sensitive, public and private information systems does need to be thought through. That's where AIM's expertise can help.
I've never had a problem publishing research work done with an organisation, providing I go back to them and say, this is what I'd like to publish, are you okay with it? And they will often review it, and they're often very sensible with their comments and critique of the work. So I think providing you manage the relationship well, it's not really an issue.
Planning projects in detail, pinpointing all, are the antithesis to success in industrial academic collaborations. Clear objectives, clear goals, good communication and clear understanding are key.
I think there's a concern that a number of companies, a number of sectors of industry do still think they can look for eureka ideas from academia. I think a number of companies have for a number of years been quite mature in their approach to sequel investments in what we might call blue skies or long-range research. But it's still quite difficult, I think, to get a meeting of minds on the timescales involved.
It's about the movement of people as much as it is about knowledge. So it's not just about knowledge, it's about getting trained people into industry. And it's also about industry influencing the long-term research agenda. So having industry engaged, even if there's not a direct product coming from that, is really important to actually getting the maximum value out of the input of research.
I think this project has really shown the value of having industrialists involved. The industrialists involved in this project have really challenged and pushed the academics. And that's been quite a unique feature in my 12 years experience. And I think it's partly the quality of the industrialists that we've had in this project, and perhaps the number of them as well, because they've been prepared, they've been prepared to challenge and say, you know, you're not explaining that clearly, I don't understand that, that doesn't seem good, you haven't done enough in this area.
What the industry wants, they want answers. I think they want some answers or some tools that enable them in terms of their process, their thinking, to advance their challenges here and now, but also I think there is some long term going on, but certainly they want solutions.
You have to bear in mind the first time you meet somebody in an organisation, they're not going to open up to you completely and tell you all of their biggest issues, all of their biggest challenges. But as you work with them, as you get to know the people, then they're much more likely to be receptive to allowing you to see bigger challenges that they might have. And in turn, that leads to more interesting research questions.